So what is your risk factor? Is 2 to the power of 8, which is 64. That's your risk marker. The higher the risk marker, the worse it is. So now I'm going to talk about positive attitude, okay? I'm going to talk about positive attitude. I'm going to talk about the power of positive attitude. I'm going to talk about how important it is that on the deepest emotional level, you have positive attitudes about your life. This is not about I get up in the morning, I smile, although that's part of it. This is, what is the first thought that comes up when something doesn't work in my life? Do I bounce with optimism, or do I give in? And this is part of your early childhood programming. This is a subconscious programming. This is the programs that are set in place in the first 7 years of your life. Childhood experiences have a deep imprint in our subconscious mind. These imprints act like program files and are activated in your adult life. Some of these beliefs are positive and enable us to achieve success in our lives. Some of them are corrupt or obsolete and in the way of our lives. Okay? So if you came from a background where your parents struggled with wealth, with health, and relationships, what they programmed you to do is to struggle with health, wealth, and relationships. And until and unless you change that programming, all the conscious information, knowledge, and skills that you have will make little or no difference to you because you can't make use of it. So because your beliefs are stored in your subconscious mind, the files are difficult to access until and unless you have the know-how to do this. So on the unconscious level, you have a health, wealth, and relationship blueprint which lies on your unconscious mind. And we've created procedures and protocols to allow you to work with it. Your negative emotions, chronic negative emotions, create complex biochemical pathways within your body that will set you up for illness, for cancer, for diabetes. So I ask you again, what happens when you get up and you're in an environment and suddenly something negative happens? What is your first instinctive emotional response? Is it optimism or pessimism? Long-term positive traits will turn on positive chemicals. Long-term negative emotions will turn on toxic negative chemicals. I'm simplifying the chart. I actually take much longer to explain this. This lecture is 15 hours in 1 hour. So of course I'm going to give you summaries. So are you ready to find out if we have the programming for success? At the end of today's talk, can I have Raymond? Okay, look around at the back. That's where our table is. Raymond, my whole team is down there. At the end of today's talk, or at the end of today, you can go back there and we have a voucher that is worth $300 that will help you come. You're going to get that to attend our programs to help you become clear about this. Hydration. 70% of the Americans are chronically dehydrated. The thirst mechanism is so weak that when they're thirsty, they think they're hungry. Okay? They get so confused when they're thirsty, they think they're hungry. This will slow down your metabolism as much as 3%. 1 glass of water will shut down hunger pangs for almost 100% of the dieters. Lack of water is the one trigger for daytime fatigue. Research suggests that 8 to 10 glasses of water will ease back pain. And most diseases are associated with dehydration. 5 cups of fruits and vegetables a day, they would meet your needs. They would not meet your vitamin and mineral needs. You need to be taking some kind of multivitamins. For 40 years, the American Medical Association was saying 3 square meals a day will meet your needs. Then in 2002, in the Journal of American Medical Association, they said that we no longer have classic vitamin deficiency, but suboptimal levels of B6 and B12 are a risk factor for cardiovascular disease, birth defects in children, colon and breast cancer. Low levels of vitamin D will contribute to osteopenia, osteoporosis, and fractures. And most people do not consume an optimal amount of all vitamins by diet alone. Our Asian diet of high carbohydrate intake is guaranteed to shorten your life expectancy. That's the long and short of this. So your normal diet will shorten your lifespan. So unless you are doing a deliberate diet of caloric restriction without malnutrition, you're going to be in trouble. Now I'm going to tell you this little story. When I was 21, I looked at my father, who worked in the pharmaceutical line. He was 1 inch shorter than me and 3 months permanently pregnant. 1 inch shorter than me and 3 months permanently pregnant. Okay, you understand what I mean? So this was somebody who believed I eat, I drink, and I smoke, and I party because all I have to do is pop a pill. Okay, when I looked at him, I decided I don't want to be like him. So at 21, I decided I'm going to drink my teh o without sugar. If I drink a cup of tea every day, there's 365 teaspoonfuls of sugar. Over 10 years, there's 3,650 spoonfuls of sugar. Over 30 years, that's about almost 1,000, 10,000. You understand where we're going with this? So right now, at 50, 49, 50, my father had diabetes, heart disease. Both my brother and I are touching 50, and we are clear. Because of deliberate caloric restriction without malnutrition. Exercise prevents and treats lumbago, ensures muscle tone, treats osteoporosis, reduces the risk of certain cancers like breast cancer, cancer of the cervix, ovary, and colon. This is your spine. Your spine is a central pathway for nervous system to your brain and to the rest of you. You all brush your teeth. How often do you look after your spine? Okay? So we have a program to look after your spine. The cost of stress and pain, when your neck is affected, it reduces blood flow to your brain. When the blood flow to your brain is reduced, the quality of your thinking is affected. Okay? Stress-related headaches, followed by backaches, are the leading causes of pain, followed by back pain. Stress-related headaches, estimated that 3% of the Americans are absent every day of the year, and in wages paid, the annual cost of absenteeism is estimated to be $30 billion. Total annual cost of diminished productivity is about $150 billion or higher. Most of you are going to have significant times in your life where because of pain, you're unable to function effectively. And if this happens in the middle of a crucial business meeting, you're going to lose a lot of money. And I actually have clients like this who come in. So we have a posture screening process. Poor neck and back problems will create neck and back strain, reduce blood flow to your brain, impacts your nervous system, your cardiovascular system, your hormonal system. Being in pain reduces your ability to think and make good decisions, impacts your ability to sleep, accelerates aging. So at the end of today, and at the end of this talk, if you go to where I told you my friends are, you can collect a voucher and you can come in and get your spine assessed. But my friends, we've only got 600 vouchers. Okay? So not everybody's going to get it. So the first person who gets the voucher, you're going to need to SMS your name and your details, and we'll get back to you. Sleep. Why is sleep so important? Have you heard of how medical doctors, suddenly drop dead? Everybody heard of that? Every now and then, this up-and-coming doctor just drops dead. Anybody heard of this? Have you heard of CEOs, high-functioning CEOs, who do everything right? They eat right, they exercise right, and they're doing marathons, and suddenly they drop dead. You know what's the major problem? Lack of sleep. 7 years ago, I did everything right except I can't sleep. I haven't been able to sleep for 25 years properly. I've lived on 4 to 5 hours of sleep. 7 years ago, I was in the busiest period of my life. I worked for 1 month non-stop. I was between my clinic and my other businesses. And I was also going for a martial arts exam. So I was training normally 12 hours a week. I added another 3 hours, so I was training about 14 to 17 hours a week, surviving on 5 hours of sleep, and working about 12 to 14 hours a day. The month went. Then I thought, now I can rest. My system crashed. I had a very rare infection, so rare that when I went into hospital, nobody could figure out what it was. So I have a heart failure, the ambulance is wheeling me into hospital, and the doctors are looking at me, they're testing my blood, and you know what? They can't find anything, because my blood is so perfect. All the diet and nutrition, no cholesterol, no sodium, potassium balance, nothing. Eventually, they found 3 markers that talked about a very rare infection and something called C-reactive protein. And later on, you will find out that C-reactive protein rises dramatically when you're sleep deprived. And after that, every time my patients walk in, I check for sleep deprivation. At least 50% of my patients with chronic illnesses are sleep deprived. Short sleep increases the risk for high BP by 300 to 500%. Young people are twice as likely to get high BP when they sleep less. Individuals that slept less than 5 hours a night had a 3-fold increase in risk of heart attacks. Now let me tell you this. Now I sleep 8 to 9 hours. So I don't have that many hours. But let me tell you this. Every hour I'm awake, my productivity is at least 50% more. So long-term sleep deficiency reduces brain function. Complete and partial lack of sleep increase the blood concentrations of high-sensitivity C-reactive protein, the strongest predictor of heart attacks. Even after getting adequate sleep, the levels stayed high. So, in Chinese medicine, they talk about the meridian clocks and all of that. So when you don't sleep by 11, you don't produce your anti-aging hormones. Instead, you increase the production of aging hormones and stress-related cortisol, so you age faster. If you're not asleep by 11, your liver will not detoxify at 1 a.m. Your natural healing mechanisms get shut down. Go figure. Dental screening. Why is this important? Every case of diabetes, heart disease, and cancer that I've seen, there's been a dental problem. Either periodontal disease, which is poor gum disease, mercury fillings, root canals, and is involved in half a dozen illnesses. Your teeth are related to your internal organs, and I had this lady who came in from Thailand. She discovered she had cancer, breast cancer. They found a lump, they removed it, it was cancerous, and she didn't understand why she got cancer, because her diet was good, her lifestyle was stressful but quite good, and she had no idea why. So in my clinic, we have about $250,000 worth of screening equipment. We tested her, and in 40 minutes we found she had a mercury filling that was sitting on the stomach meridian, and the stomach meridian runs through your body over the breast. And it was on the left breast. And that's when she got a cancer. Drinking 1 glass of wine or none at all. Moderate wine consumption cuts the risk of stroke, fewer kidney stones, and cardiovascular benefits of moderation. No cigarette smoking. Every time you smoke, you have more than 2,000 substances, including heavy metals, in your cigarette smoke. You can have direct cigarette smoke effect. This is when you smoke. You can have indirect secondhand smoke. In fact, there was a lady who was busy looking after her father who was very sick. Eventually, she got cancer. She was a non-smoker, but she looked after her father and smoked all the time. You then have third-hand cigarette smoke. And this is what happens when you smoke in a room often enough. The smoke particles are impregnated in the walls, and you let your children play, and your children inhale all of that in. Mouth cancer, lung disease. Your weight gain is related to high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. Every 5% increase in weight over the reported weight at age 20 is associated with a nearly 200% greater risk of diabetes and insulin resistance. So all you have to do is drop your weight by 5% if you're overweight, and you reduce your risk factors by 200%. That's the good news. So your toxic habits, poor emotional management, dehydration, poor diet, no or insufficient exercise, insufficient sleep, insufficient dental support, drinking inappropriately, smoking, or weight gain. Why do men die earlier than women? When a woman is unwell, normally in my practice, it's the woman who brings in the men. Very rarely does the man bring in his wife. When a woman is unwell, she will typically go, I don't feel well, something is wrong, I need to find out what's wrong so I can do something about it. For a man, especially if he's fat, has blood pressure or cholesterol but no pain, this is the conversation. The wife will go, aren't you going to do something about this, dear? And he will typically say, don't fuss. I'm going to see the doctor. And this going to see the doctor will take anything from 1 week to 1 year, depending on how long he can drag it. Okay? After that, he will say, I'm taking the medication, and if he's doing it on his own, he will not do it regularly, unless the wife goes, okay, I'm going to give it to you. Then he gets a heart attack, he has a nervous breakdown, terminal illness, or cannot get out of bed because of lower back pain. That's when I get the call to say, doctor, I feel terrible. Can you do anything? And by the way, when can I go back to work? Okay? So until you start getting proactive, and you're not getting proactive because you're a hypochondriac. You are protecting the golden goose. If you are the breadwinner in the family, you are the golden goose. You need to protect the golden goose. You need to ensure that your mind and your body are in optimal function so that you can go out and make the money. So who is responsible for making your life work? When you fail to plan, are you planning to fail or succeed? If you fail to do a business plan, are you planning to fail or succeed? If you fail to plan to lead a healthy life and you expect it to happen by accident, are you planning to fail or succeed? So when your business does not succeed or collapses, who is responsible? The economy, competitors, the government, or God? It's not my fault. Everything tastes nice. In Singapore, we live in a food's paradise. You go out there and you can stuff your face. So it requires self-control and discipline to hold back. So who is responsible for your health? God, the doctors, you. And this is where it gets tricky, because you need to do the wrong habits for 10 to 15 years before you develop any serious or chronic disease. So it's not like you do the bad stuff, you feel it immediately. You'll go on. Cross 35, your anabolic, catabolic balance changes, then stuff happens. During those years of bad habits, you're unlikely to feel anything or any symptoms if you're a man because of social conditioning. As a guy,